Hello, everybody. It's Debs here, speaking to you from Worcestershire. Yeah, I just got back from Florida. It's actually warmer here today. Mother Nature she does what she's going to do. And I think wisdom has taught me to understand what energies are at play and make the best of them. So my conference ended and I booked myself an extra day off. So guess what? I could lie on the beach. Well, that did not happen. I ended up on one of the coldest, wettest days they've had in Florida in living memory. And I laughed. Truly, I did. And that's kind of the wisdom I want to impart through these lives, through astrology, through, I suppose, an understanding that what's happening isn't personal until you make it personal. However, what's happening always has a gift for you if you know where to look. And isn't everything about how we look and the perception that we're using to look at it, right? Now, these energies are not some concept. If you look at astrology, if you look at the way that, even if you don't, you know the planets and the stars do different things. There is movement, right? And we are calibrated through our energetic system, the meridians and the chakras for one, but there are many other layers to that, to respond to energy moving. We do it all the time. If you eat something, your body has a response to the new energy that's just come in. So when I talk about astrology, let me be clear, I am not an astrologer. I can look at a chart. I know a lot about bits, and I do read for Chiron points, particularly because that's part of the healing modality that I've derived so much from. So this new moon update, let's get to the chase, is really to have you align, take 5 or 10 minutes, that's it, pick up a pen, piece of paper, and align. Just hear what's coming, make a note of it, and ask your inner self to stay aware of what might come up over the next few days, right? Now, new moons are when we set an intention. Intentions are powerful. They have to be aligned with a sense of feeling. So when I set an intention, I have to be able to feel it as well as think about it, because that creates a different ripple in my biochemistry, in the way that I'm impacting the field. So if you're setting intentions this new moon, great. Make it, I was going to say sacred, because that's what I do. Honor it. Give something to that space that tells your inner being, right, now we're doing this. And that's what I'd like you just to grab a pen if you haven't got one, or come back to this. I'll leave it up in the group for a while. So what's going on? The sun is transiting philosophical Sagittarius. I can never stop saying Sag. Don't know why. I think it was early Latin lessons. I'm that old, right? They taught me Latin. And he's going to join Mercury and Venus. That's a pretty powerful lineup. I always think of them as, mother, father, and the messenger that can bring the messages, because Mercury's gone backwards and forwards to the sun 3 or 4 times before the other planets have shifted. It's a fast little thing. And Sagittarius is the energy that helps us to seek wisdom, interestingly enough. He's an archer, and in one of the mythical stories around Chiron, we're told that when Chiron decided to rescind his immortality, Zeus placed Sagittarius, see, I've said it that way then, Sagittarius in the heavens as a reminder and as a permanent testament and an energetic resource. I feel that alignment helps us to take back the arrow and aim high. And of course, Sag is a centaur, as Chiron was. So we are called to remember our humanness and to work in a disciplined way, which means aware, do what you know you can do, and don't let yourself off the hook. There's a discipline about aiming high spiritually. Now, when I say high, please don't think higher and lower, better and worse. What I'm talking about is frequency. So those of you who are coming to my Decked Out and Shame class, who have been to it, will understand how low frequencies impact us without us even knowing. And we want to climb out of that pit, right? We need to spiral up while still keeping our feet on the ground. It's the lotus. It's why yoga uses a lotus, because the lotus has to start in mud and travel through this strange watery underworld to blossom on the surface. And that's, in a way, a very Sagittarian thing. So because there's a lineup with Jupiter, just let me have a look. I think he's trine Jupiter. It's very harmonious new moon. So plan for some fun. Plan for some you time. Plan for something that's going to lift your spirits over the next few days. You can put down the intensity for a while. So trine Jupiter, a trine is sort of soft angle. It allows a harmonious flow of Jupiterian energy. What does Jupiter do? It's very expansive. You mash up all the planets and you still haven't got anything near the size of Jupiter. The great benefic, right? Now, when we look at this as a polarized thing, on the plus side, Jupiter's going to help you expand faith, optimism, adventurousness, joy, generosity, spiritual practices. You're kind of like, yeah, you see it, you'll feel it. All those beautiful Jupiterian, Sagittarian things. You're like, yeah, that's me. That's actually, and that is who you are, right? Not what you are, it's who you are. The shadow of that will be at the other end of the spectrum. So if we talk about frequency band, at one end, you've got the highest octave of Sag, optimism, enthusiasm, wisdom embodied and enacted, the whole thing. Humor, honesty, love of freedom. At the other end, where that frequency, if you like, becomes the lowest part of that band, you've got dogmatism, caustic wit, sarcasm, you've got self-righteousness. It's that kind of personalized wisdom. I know I'm right, they're wrong. I'm right, you're wrong. And quite passive aggressive, because without wisdom, humans don't know how to present what they want to say. There's wisdom in speech. Right speech is a spiritual discipline. The power of the word is indescribable. So you may see other people more likely cycling through optimism and then cynicism. Oh, yeah, I tried it before. Oh, yeah, I had to go at that spiritual stuff. Or I tried to be nice, but, it's not going to work. So you might see a lot of cycling through. Now, as ever, the aim is to catch yourself in those lower octave moments and hold it. Don't project it. Don't speak it out necessarily unless you're going to speak it to the earth. And ask yourself which part of you is feeling abandoned, unheard, unloved, disconnected. Where are you disconnected from that? Because the minute we look at somebody else and say, oh, they're so self-righteous, what are we? And love, have that humor, like, yeah, own it, that's me. So those are the big things, really. We're looking to even out this curve so that we can keep moving up and still maintain the fact that we are human. And yes, you are going to have those moments of feelings, really, until you're probably, I don't know, I'm going to guess a seventh dimensional being, certainly fifth. They're going to impact our lives. How do we manage them? How do we ride them? How do we be all of that and not let that be our operating system? The question in front of all of us is, what do I truly believe? What do I, not me, Debs, but what do you truly believe? When you scrape away your own dogmatism, your own need to be right, your own need to hold on to how it should look. Wisdom, the door to wisdom is curiosity and neutrality. I think that's why, in the Bible, I think Christ said, suffer the little children to come unto me. It's just like, be curious. If something comes up in your field, don't jump on it and judge it. just ask yourself, is that a gateway for me? Is that a question I haven't really asked or looked at myself? So 10 minutes, I promised. I didn't say that at the beginning, but I would also say that without too much detail, there is a bit of Eris in the mix today and tomorrow. Now, Eris is called the goddess of discontent. It was she, I think, that threw the golden apple in because she was watching her sisters all fighting over getting Paris's attention and being the most beautiful. And the thing about discontent, there is such a thing as divine discontent. Now, if you feel that restlessness inside yourself, and that is a sign, if you feel discontented and yet your ego is saying to you, oh, you've got no reason to be discontent. Look, you've got this money coming in, you've got this house, you've got this, what more do you want? Just notice that it's not somebody else's creation. You are cause. If you're feeling discontented, you are feeling discontented. It's a feeling. You cannot rationalize it necessarily. And I promise you that this week, the last 4 days, I had many reasons to feel seriously discontent. It wasn't just the weather. I had been sent to the mountain, Tolkien style, to get the gold ring. And I have had to learn and embody those frequencies so that I don't get pulled out of my center. I don't lose the bigger picture, and that I can still be the woman who in her 60s has enough energy and love and will to make sure that any woman who comes into this group or comes to me doesn't waste the time and suffer the ridiculousness that I ended up creating for myself by not having this wisdom. Whether if somebody had offered it to me, I'm not even sure I'd have listened, to be honest. But there you go. So that's the new moon headlines. Now, for those of you that are in my private membership, in the next 30 minutes, I'm going to start running this month's full transference healing for you. And within the inner sanctum, later on, I will post what's going on for you on multiple levels, because those of you who know that I work with transference healing. When you're in my temple, I run a full healing every month, as well as the shamanic clearing at full moon. And this means that you are supported energetically. In other words, you've got somebody, me, a mystery school graduate, delivering energy in a very dynamic format into your energy field, so that what needs to process, what needs to come up, what needs to come in, because you have to move something out to move something in, is going to happen. So it's, I want to say fast track. It's a bit of a kind of linear phrase, but I know that even if I don't get to speak to you in a month, if I've run that energy, you've got more support than I could ever dream of, because I've experienced it and I know that's true. So if you have a calling to come into the membership, and there is more available than that, I'll be doing the New Moon Temple teaching as well, which Spirit just tells me every month, you need to teach this. Then it is an absolute snip at UK pounds 37. For that, you're getting an energetic support system that, if you book a healing with me this year, they're £95. And you're very welcome to have a one-to-one. Absolutely you are. But to have regular energetic updates, I have them. So I'm in a program where that happens for me through my own healing. And I cannot think of a better gift to serve you all than having you in this energy one way or another. So just DM me if you're going, now's the time for me to get some of that. And just let me know how your new moon intentions are and what's landed for you. Just let me know. I always love to get some feedback. Take care. I'm going to go and prepare the room and the altar for my healing session now, and I'll report back in the inner sanctum, the private group, later on. Enjoy Jupiter's influence and see you soon. Bye for now.